In 2013, a game called Don't Starve hit the gaming scene. In 2016, its multiplayer counterpart, Don't Starve Together, was released onto the market as well. Its concept was simple, and some might argue very much like games that were already flooding the market. Inspired by gaming experiences like Minecraft, Don't Starve plops your character alone in a relentless world where you're forced to find food, make shelter, craft various items, and to fight a plethora of mobs for one simple purpose: survival. I don't think it's any big secret that we here at Noober Goobers love video games with original storylines, original characters, original art styles, original anything. So you might be a little confused as to why we would devote a special video to a game whose concept is so similar to that of so many others. You might also be wondering how a game that mimics so many of its competitors is able to stand out from the crowd and to develop its own beloved niche for crafters and survivors all over the world. The truth is, not everyone is a Thomas Edison, and that's okay. Not everyone is going to invent the light bulb. And that doesn't say anything bad about the folks at Clay, the creators of the Don't Starve franchise, because hey, Steve Jobs didn't invent the portable music device, did he? No, he just made a new one so unique and so many leagues ahead of what was already on the market that it felt like he was making something new when he and the folks at Apple created the iPod. That's how we feel about Don't Starve, and this is why we love it. From the second that you make your grandiose entrance into the world of Don't Starve, through a churning magical portal that spits your character out and tempts you to say "ta-da" every time you enter into the world, it's easy to see one of the many things that make it so awesome. The world is carefully crafted in a Tim Burton-esque art style. Who could possibly not like that? We're already having fun here and we just made it in the game. Don't expect a tutorial when you get in. This is nature. This is survival. You don't get a how-to manual when you pack a bag and a knife and head into the woods, so you're not going to get one here either. This realism, the concept of man or woman against nature, is one of the many things that make this game so fun to play. In fact, it lends itself perfectly to something that we both love, and hate when we lose, aspect of the gameplay: its difficulty. You see, Don't Starve and Don't Starve Together might appear whimsical and adorable and like games you'd give your girlfriend to play alongside you while you blast some fools on Call of Duty, but it isn't. The truth is, this is the most brutal game I've ever played. This is Minecraft on hardcore mode, if hardcore mode had a hardcore mode. A take-no-prisoners approach to survival gaming. Let me explain. When you enter the game, you're given a few stat meters: hunger, sanity, and health. This works like all the other games. Get hit, lose heart. Don't eat, get hungry. But there is something truly unique about these stat levels. For starters, the game measures sanity. As you make your way through the world, exploring countless different biomes and encountering a variety of friends and foes along that journey, your mental state fluctuates, and it's your job as the player to not only take care of your body and your livelihood, but of your mental health as well. As you work to gather food and supplies, different things affect your sanity in different ways. And if you let your sanity slip, the rest of the world slips with it. From the way that the game looks, a Tim Burton fairy tale setting devolving into a bleak and colorless landscape that turns blood red, to the way that the lowered sanity actually creates shadow creatures, which turn on you and fight you. Yes, your own mind creates creatures that can take your health. There are very real consequences in this game for not taking care of yourself. And when you think about it, it makes total sense. You're out in the wild. You've got creatures in the dark. Of course your sanity is going to be affected by all of these things. When those stats reach critical lows, you better get them up. You better get them up fast. Because if you don't, you turn into a spooky ghost. And when you die in this game, you're dead. You're dead for good. That's right, you get one life. It doesn't matter if you've lasted in the game for 1 day, or 5, or 5,000. You die once and that's it. Game over. So, YOLO. Think about the stakes on this one. With the rare occasion of when you're in multiplayer mode where your friends get a chance to revive you with the right ingredients, you pretty much know that it's one and done. This adds to the thrill and the panic of the game. This is what pushes you day in and day out to get the supplies you need, to build shelter, to get ready for mobs, and to get ready for something else that makes this game nearly impossible to beat: the seasons. In Don't Starve, winter is coming. But so is summer and so is spring. You get the gist of it. Unlike Minecraft, where you can travel into different biomes in order to get snow, or sand, or swamp stuff, Don't Starve separates its randomly generated maps into biomes as well, but seasons affect you regardless. In other words, whether you decide to settle in the forest, the desert, the grasslands, or the savanna, you're going to be impacted by these 4 seasons regardless. So in the first few days of the game, you're preparing for winter. You're getting food stored, you're getting warm clothing made, you're getting heating stones crafted to keep you warm, and a laundry list of other things to survive the brutal, snowy winter. Once winter is over, if you've made it that far without dying, good luck with spring. Get ready for torrential downpours and a chance that it can actually rain frogs that will kill you. Get ready for simple things like bees to turn against you, and for giant spiders to roam the land ready to take your head off. You see, with each season comes its own unique challenges, and when the game changes, the characters do too. Meet the pigs, a peaceful mob that will help you chop wood in exchange for monster meat, and will help you defend yourself against hostile mobs like hounds. Vicious dogs that, for whatever reason, roll up with their homies to ruin your life every chance they get. I like them because they're incredibly stupid and say rude things like, "That my space." Yes, that's how I envisioned they'd sound if they could talk. They're your friends, unless it's a full moon. Then they go full Michael Jackson's Thriller on you and try to eat your brains. Meet the beefalo, the woolly mammoth-like mob that roams the grasslands. They're kind enough to let you borrow their poop for farming. They'll help you fight hounds as well. Heck, they'll even let you ride them. But come winter, when their behinds turn red and they're in mating season, you better keep your distance. You see, not only do the seasons change, making the game more difficult to play, but the mobs change along with them. So, in the wintertime, you know you can't depend on the beefalo like you could in other seasons, so you must adjust your gameplay in order to survive. I wouldn't be doing this game justice if I didn't talk about the playable characters. What can I say? They're awesome. Not only are they awesome, there are over 15 playable characters in Don't Starve. And while I won't get into the intricacies of all of them, here are a few of my favorites. Meet Wilson, the wannabe scientist that can grow a magic beard like no other. That beard helps you in seasons like the winter. Meet Willow. She's my favorite. There's just something that I love about a woman who gets joy out of burning things down to the ground. Call me old-fashioned. Willow gets her lighter from the beginning of the game, making it easier to start fire when night hits, especially if you're in a jam and don't have the supplies for your campfire. On the downside, she needs extra help keeping her sanity up, because she likes to burn things to the ground. But she's a fun character to play nonetheless. Meet WX78, your lovely neighborhood robot. WX78 starts the game with lower stat levels initially, but you can build them up by eating gears throughout the gameplay session. In addition, he does terribly in rain, but can eat spoiled foods and foods that other characters can't eat. Every character has its own story and its own strengths and weaknesses, you see? That's yet another thing that keeps you interested in the game. Make it for an extensive period of time with one character, try playing with a different character, and to deal with the challenges that using them creates. It makes the same game more interesting, and it makes each gameplay feel like a fresh experience. We have played Don't Starve together for over 146 hours to date. 146. And we have barely made it through winter once. Our longest in-game survival has been something like 48 days. It's crazy when you think about how unbelievably hard this game is. And yet, with 146 hours in-game, we still haven't experienced the remaining 2 seasons. We still haven't played with all the available characters. We still haven't touched several of the different aspects of the game, like the weaponry, the structures, or even the magic. Yeah, you can do magic in this game. And even when we've done all that, we still have the Reign of Giants and shipwrecked downloadable content that are, in essence, new games. For one game, there is so much to explore, so many things to learn, and so many areas to triumph. That's how you make a game, ladies and gentlemen. That's how you keep an audience at the edge of their seats. Give them something to do. Make it hard. Make them earn every accomplishment. And although some might complain that it makes the game too difficult, it will keep people like me and Goober Guy coming back for more time and time again. Because this is Contra without the code. Don't Starve and Don't Starve Together might not have the biggest followings. They might not be the best-selling games of all time, but they certainly have done enough to deserve it. Especially in light of all the cash grabbing and incomplete games and microtransactions, and games that don't fulfill any of their promises in the industry right now. This isn't No Man's Sky. It's not just made to be pretty to look at. This game is complete. It has a story. It has a purpose. It doesn't glitch, ever. It has a soul. And it's only $14.99. Download it on Steam. No, this is not a sponsored video. Play for a few hours, pull your hair out, yell at your monitor, then come back and do it all over again. Or better yet, do it with your friends on Don't Starve Together. That's Don't Starve, and this is why we love it. If you like this channel and the content that we're putting out, please consider becoming one of our patrons. It is rare when a gem comes along and challenges just about everything we traditionally find in our games these days. And that's why we love Limbo. Before you click away, hear me out. Before you look at the art style and dismiss it as not for you, listen to what I have to say about what made this game an indie developer darling for gamers across the spectrum. You see, Limbo is that game. It's the one that challenges who you should play as the main protagonist, the one that says no to stereotypical video game settings, and the one with a story that elevates itself above the fray of conventional video games. Limbo isn't a game that you play and ask yourself, how many times has this been done before? You don't have to set it apart. It does that for you, and here's how.